Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Here to Stay by Ms.E. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new viewers. Listen, if you are liking this wig right here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You might as well go ahead and do it right now if you liking this wig, because this is a wig I'm going to show you how to make. But if you like this wig, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, share this video with somebody, and make sure you leave a comment. This wig right here, it's giving all that. It's giving like, share, subscribe, notification bell, and comment. That's what this wig is giving. I just love this wig. Most of the time I make my wigs with a lace frontal or lace closure. This is an alternative if you don't want to use lace. Lace can be pretty expensive, and if you don't want to use lace, if you just want to use beauty supply store hair or the less expensive hair, this is what you can do. Now, this is not going to give you the same versatility as a lace because of course, with the lace, you have a lot of parting versatility. If you part the hair anywhere, you're going to be able to see a part that looks like your real scalp. That's the benefit of a lace. But you may not be able to do that with this wig, but you may not need all that. I'm going to show you in this video on how to make your own closure. I'm going to show you how to sew this wig on. You can also shampoo this wig because we're not using glue. I'm going to use a little bit of bond at the end, but I'm going to reinforce it with the sewing machine. Really secure. Some hairspray on it. If you like big hair or not. But hey, just look at all of what you can do with this wig. If you want to know how I made this wig, keep watching. So right here, I'm just securing my cap onto the canvas head. You don't really have to worry about making any measurements for this particular wig. So now I'm going to go ahead and just trace on the markings that I've made previously on this canvas head. It's just going to make me keep a consistent line throughout this process. And we're going to start doing a 1/2 inch in the nape area because I need that extra hair for when I'm going to taper it. And then as I get up towards the middle, I am going to make these markings a whole inch apart. So a 1/2 inch apart in the nape and a whole inch apart towards the middle of the head. So right here, I am going to make this line right across the middle. I'm not going to make it directly on the edge of the cap because I don't want to have a lot of shrinkage. So I'm going around the head, making, it's not quite a circle because there are corners here, but as we get to the top crown of the head, it is going to be a circle. And we're going to just follow that on around until we get to the area where we are going to make our lines for our closure. So this is where the circle begins. So this is a closure that comes with the hair. I am not going to use it. I never use it because it does not look natural. We are going to make our own closure. So that's the area we're going to focus on when we close up this wig. So I am going to double my tracks. I am putting these two tracks together, one beneath the other, slightly beneath the other, and I'm going to start to sew them onto the sewing machine. I am going to back stitch when I start sewing, and I am using the zigzag stitch. That's going to help you catch both of these tracks at the same time. So now that I'm getting close to the end of this track, I'm going to back stitch again, only a couple of times. You don't need to do it a lot of times, just a couple of times will work. And this is what it should look like once you've doubled those tracks. I am using the smallest hair for this particular wig. So I'm going to start in the nape and I'm going to begin to sew this hair onto the cap. Just following the lines that we've already created on this cap prior to starting this process. So we're just going to follow these lines. And we're going to continue this process throughout this whole wig cap. We can just follow these lines. I'm not gonna show every single step because I don't want the video to be extra long, but I'm gonna show you enough so that you can have a good idea of how to do this whole process. So I'm about a quarter of a ways up on sewing this hair onto the cap. When I get to the halfway point, I'm going to make single tracks and not double tracks. So right here, I am going to sew this hair onto the cap. This is the front of the hair. And I'm laying this track, I think I mentioned it before, like a quarter of an inch away from the edge so that it does not cause a lot of shrinkage. As I mentioned in my introduction, when you are sewing a wig on and you're not using lace, your challenge is going to be shrinkage and not expanding. The only reason why it expands is when you're using lace closures. So as you can see right here, I am using single tracks as I continue up the head. But as I was saying is that the reason why your challenge is going to be shrinkage when you are not using a lace closure or frontal is because you're not cutting away any cap. Whenever you cut away the cap, you're going to have a wig that may be too big, and that's the reason why you need to custom fit. But in this particular wig, we don't have to worry about that because there's no lace being used. So this wig is going to be able to fit a small to medium size head. And as you can see, we are getting close to that circle that we're making. We're going to get ready to make our closure soon. We're just going to follow this sewing our hair onto the cap around in the circle. You know, you want to take your time doing this because you don't want it to be lumpy at this point. So just go as slow as you possibly can. And as you can see, our circle is almost closed in and complete. This is where I'm going to use my bonding glue to create my own closure. So this is creating your own closure. I am going to apply the glue onto the hair. This is a single track. It is not double. You want to make sure that it's single so that it does not cause bulk and the hair is movable and pliable. And I'm simply going to just move this around in that circle. And you're going to make sure that that circle is, when you're getting ready to close it in, is about a little smaller than a pea size. You can add hairspray or spritz prior to doing this process. I didn't do it, and I also forgot to put on my plastic cap, as you can see here. So I'm going to put the plastic cap on so that I do not get the glue stuck to my canvas head. Okay, so let's continue with this process. So now we are closing in that circle. We are making our closure at this point. Go ahead and use some hairspray or spritz prior to this process. It will make it stick quicker. I didn't worry about it too much because I am going to reinforce this with, I said sewing machine, but I meant I'm going to sew it on my hand. So I'm going to sew it on my hand with needle and thread after I glue it down. So as you can see, there is some glue inside that hole. I didn't have to put it there, but it is on there as a result of the tracks leaving a little bit of glue in that area. So that's going to work perfectly for me, because you do need some glue in that hole, just not a lot, because you don't want it to spill over into the hair. But I will show you how to remove the hair in a process that's coming up, just in case, I'm sorry, how to remove the glue just in case the glue gets on the hair. So here's our little pea size, actually it's smaller than a pea size, that we're going to close up really easy. I'm going to take about 1 inch of that hair that we just cut off. I'm going to put some glue on one side and glue on the other side, which the glue is already on that side because it's already in that hole. And I'm going to just fold it over once. So see there, the glue is on one side and we're folding it over just once. We're going to cut it off, and once we cut it off, we're going to push it as far down in that hole as we possibly can, and we're going to open the hair up that we folded over. We're going to open it up, and there you have your closure. I'm taking a tweezer. I'm not tweezing any hair. Make sure you do not tweeze hair. I'm only using the tip of the tweezer to push it down, and there you see a flawless closure. So this is the closure that comes with the hair. I'm going to toss it because to me it looks, the closure that we just made looks more natural than the closure that comes with the hair, and I'm satisfied with the way it looks. So here you have the part that we just glued on, and you can see what it looks like inside out, and this wig looks great. No lumps, no bumps. So this is how you're going to remove the excess hair. You're going to take some alcohol and you're going to put it on the hair that the glue spilled onto, and you're just going to take a fine tooth comb and you're going to comb it through and remove that excess glue. So now I'm going to take my needle and thread and I'm going to reinforce this area that we just sewed down. Now you want to go around every track that you made in your closure, and you want to make sure you go inside the middle as well. You want to take your time doing this because, as I mentioned in the introduction, we want to be able to shampoo this hair. And as you can see, I sewed around that whole entire area, and I put a stitch in the middle as well. Perfect closure. So I did shampoo the hair, I conditioned it, and I molded it down with styling mousse or foam mousse, or some type of wrapping lotion if you will. And now I'm going into the nape area and I'm just tapering it. I'm cutting it really close. You want to be careful not to take too much hair off of this. Otherwise it'll be too thin. If that happens, you'll just have to sew on some more tracks in this area. So as I move up the head, I'm just going to hold the hair out and I'm going to slide cut it with my razor. Make sure your razor is very sharp, because if it is dull, this is going to be a really challenging process. So make sure your razor is nice and sharp. This will be a great time for you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and please leave a comment or ask a question. So this technique that I chose to use is very beginner friendly. If you have not had any formal training in hair cutting, this is a very simple technique, or a more simpler technique than what I normally use. Basically just holding the hair out and slide cutting it. I did leave out the sideburn area. As you can see, I clipped it away because I want to save that for last. I don't want to cut that too short, so I'm just going to leave it out until I'm ready to create my sideburns. I'm going to go ahead and make my sideburns, and as you can see, this area where I traced around, this is a guide that's going to show me exactly where and how to slant and cut the length on my sideburns. And if you watch the videos on how to make your markings and how to transfer your markings, please make sure you watch those videos because it will make all of this make much more sense. And I'll leave the links in the I'll leave the links below for you to be able to refer to those videos. But it'll show you the reason why I traced with the permanent marker around my canvas head, because it's going to act as a guide to show me how to cut and how to shape my wigs, especially my short wigs, so that I don't ever have to cut my wigs on my head. So as you can see, I am using that area in the back that I traced with my permanent marker, and it's acting as a guide to show me how to cut the nape area. I do recommend that you try this method. You will probably never go back to cutting the wig on your head again. You don't have to worry about having a person there to make your wig on. You have this canvas head with the markings, and it's going to be your guide for every wig, especially your short wigs that you make from this point on. So now I'm going to cut the top. I'm basically just lifting it up and creating some layers. I am slide cutting with my shears. If you have to stop this video and watch it over again, or pause it to this particular or any particular point that you need to be clear on, make sure you do that so that you can get a good understanding of how to cut this particular wig, or whatever part you need to stop and replay. Then that would be a good idea for you to do it in order for you to get an accuracy on how to create this wig. So now I'm going to create or to shape the front area. And that's it for the hair cutting piece. I'm going to show you how I curled it and styled it. So I did use my smaller curling iron in the nape area, and I'm just basically bumping it, not putting any really definite curls. I'm using a little bit of gloss spray, and I am also using a little bit of holding spray. You want to make sure that the temperatures on your curling irons are low to medium. You don't want to scorch the hair. This is human hair, but the hair has been colored and processed, so you don't want to scorch the hair, because the hair is once it's been treated, it just makes it easier for you to cause some scorching if your curling irons are too high. I am also now using my 1-inch flat iron. As I move up the head and the hair is longer, I'm using a larger flat iron. Just taking it and smoothing it out with my fingers. You don't really necessarily need a comb. The layers are in here so nice that you know, there's a lot of movement, nice and flowy. Just use your fingers to style the hair. You don't want to put a lot of oils and a lot of spray, just something really light. So now I am finishing the side part. So this is going to wrap up this video. I'm so glad you guys watched this video to the end. I really do appreciate it. And I look so forward to seeing you in my next video. We'll see you later. Bye.